So I spent some time, as I told you last session, camped out on the edge of the dark forest. And as I sat there, doing my best to quit, doing my best to go back to the normal, sometimes happy, sometimes unhappy life that I'd led before, I just couldn't bring myself to go back. And eventually there came a point where I turned around and said, okay, I need to step over this threshold and go into this dark forest. I didn't know what was in that place, but I knew I needed to go there. So I stepped over that threshold and redoubled my efforts, sitting, following the breath, feeling the body, reading, studying. And what I entered consciously for the first time was the land of thinking. So within my head, within my experience, my whole life had been filled with thoughts as far back as I could remember. And my whole life up until I started this journey, I believed that that was my voice saying important things that I needed to take care of. And as I sat and breathed and watched what was going on, I started to realize that that voice was under its own power. It wasn't controlled by me, it wasn't mine. And that I couldn't stop it, I couldn't shut it up. And that was the beginning of my journey through this place, was really just the recognition of how much thinking was going on. And this is the next phase that we enter, is what I call conscious insanity. When we start to know that we're lost in thought most of the time. We start to know that we have very little control over where we put our attention. And we realize how lost we are the majority of our lives, and how much we're caught up in past and future. So as you enter into this place, or you might have journeyed there before already, you will notice the power that thought has over us. You will notice how difficult it is to pull your attention away from it. And you will notice how much, dark, how much painful, and how much just repetitive and seemingly stupid stuff just goes around and around in mind. And many people write to me when they discover this, because they feel like there's something wrong with them. But the truth is that recognizing that this is happening is the birth of that deeper awareness. It shows that we're on the right path. So as we move into section 2 of the Mindfulness mini course, we move into the land of thinking, but for the first time we move into it with eyes wide open. And I want you to know before we start that whatever arises is not a reflection of you. It's just something that you're witnessing. And whether the mind drags your attention away a lot or a little, it's not a reflection of you either. It's just a part of your experience right now. And so, as we begin this journey, take some time to sit with me now and just breathe and watch. So feel one breath come in and go out. And as you do, let's take a moment to watch what thoughts are arising now. See if you can make the breath your main focus. Whilst watching the thoughts that come and go. And as you do that, be alert and watch for those moments when thought takes over your attention. And when that happens, just come back to the breath and just watching. Don't worry about the content of your thoughts. Just focus on this process of breathing, watching, and coming back when you get lost. And that's going to form the basis of our work in this section, is just honing our skills in following the breath, watching thoughts without getting engaged in them, and coming back when we get lost. So thank you for stepping with me into the dark forest, into the land of thinking. As we move through this week, we're going to get a better profile of what we're facing in the mind. And we'll explore the best tools that I know of for working our way through this place and into the next stage of our journey, which I'll tell you about later in this section. My name's Ollie Doyle. Thanks for joining me on the Mindfulness mini course, and I will speak to you soon.